So I think the first thing we need to mention on this week's video is why Sarah's resembling a one-armed bandit in the sling. Tell everybody what you've done.
Well, we were out dog walking Friday evening and I fell backwards quite hard, hit a rock, and it seems as though I've broken my collarbone. Luckily I don't need surgery, it should heal itself, but if anybody watching this actually has broken a collarbone, I'd appreciate some hints and tips of how to deal with it and how long it took for yours to heal.
What she really means is go and drop her some nice comments below.
Feel sorry for me.
She's milking it a little bit, so...
Luckily it's not my drinking arm.
No, and how you've managed to do it, being the most active person ever that runs, cycles, does all sorts of things, and you did it walking a dog, is beyond me, completely sober, so...
It's slightly ironic, but there you go.
Right, with that out of the way, it's feeling very, very hot today here. It's got to be, I don't know, 27, 28 degrees easily. And as of Monday, we entered phase 2, which means that there's now loads of updates. There's more things that we can do here, less restrictions. Certainly driving in here this morning, there's a lot more cars on the road. It's pretty much back to normal in terms of the number of cars that we've seen. And the biggest thing is that the beaches have reopened, which is why we're here. I've had a lot of people ask if we could come down to the Atlantico and show you the beaches as well. So that's what we're going to do now. So we've come down to the beach at Caleta. There's a few people out and about.
Yeah, I mean there's no tourists obviously at the moment, so it's a lot quieter than would normally be at this time of the year, but there's a few families out that we've seen enjoying the sunshine, sunbathing, having a bit of a dip in the sea, so it's nice to see, you know, people around even though it's only a few at the moment.
Yeah, so restrictions, you just need to maintain a 2-metre distance from other people that you're not with. The exercise time slots have been completely relaxed, so we can now exercise pretty much any time. So the only times that you can't is between 10 a.m. and 12 noon and 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Because those have been designated for the over 70s to be able to go out and stretch their legs. But other than that, yeah, exercise time slots have gone. Feels, aside from like the bars and restaurants here that aren't open yet, it kind of looks a little bit more normal.
It does, and obviously there's little incentive for them to open at the moment because a lot of their business comes from the tourists, and you know, I'm guessing they're not going to be opening up for probably a few weeks yet, but we'll wait and see.
So we're just going to walk up to the Atlantico Centre now, have a look at the beach down there and also go inside, because another part of phase 2 is that shopping centres have been able to reopen. So we'll go in there and see which of the shops, if any, are opened up. As part of the measures that we mentioned in last week's video, you do now need to wear a mask if you're in an enclosed public space. Certainly the supermarkets have been enforcing that, and we expect the shopping centres to be the same, so we'll have to stick a mask on to go in there, but at least it'll give you an idea. A few people have asked about the beach cafe. That's not yet open, but it looks like they're doing some work in there, maybe cleaning, getting things ready. Looks like they might be painting actually, so maybe giving it a spruce up. So while we head on back to Atlantico, let's fill you in on a couple of the other things. As I said, there's a lot of updates for this week. The first being that the person that was in ITU here on the island has now been moved, so they're back onto a ward, which is great news. They are still classed as an active case, but they are the only active case that we have at the moment. There's not been any new infections since we last updated the vlog, so yeah, just really good news, and hopefully they will be able to get out of hospital reasonably soon. So let's tell you a little bit about phase 2. So phase 2 is expected to last for 2 weeks, but that, like with everything that we've said on these videos, is subject to change. In terms of the main changes, you can now be in small social groups of 15 people, whereas it was 10 in phase 1, so that's been slightly increased. Insides of restaurants can now open, shopping centres can now open. La Isla, this bar, it's quite a popular one with tourists particularly, is still closed. I've not heard anything yet about when that will reopen. But yeah, you can see a few people in the water. Certainly a few more people up on this end of the beach.
How are you? That's unusual.
You're obviously well fed.
Yeah, he's been feeding you.
You must be visiting all the cat cafes. What's your name?
She's pregnant.
Well, it could be pregnant,
Which
yeah.
are you? Are you fat or are you pregnant? No, you don't care, do you? There's no social distancing going on with you. It's a lot busier down this end, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this end has always been pretty popular with locals. But yeah, this pretty much confirms it.
Hold on a minute, there's a cruise ship over there.
Is there?
Yeah. It's quite a long time since we've seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's quite unusual. It's quite unusual to see a large passenger ship like that. So I did just have a little look on the Marine Tracker app. Apparently it's a TUI cruise ship called the Morella Discovery, and it's left Gran Canaria and it's heading back to Southampton in the UK. So I assume obviously it'll be empty of passengers, probably just a minimum crew, but yeah, kind of interesting. Definitely something we've not seen for a while. We've had quite a few updates this week. The main one was that the Spanish Prime Minister went on TV a couple of days ago and announced that international tourism will resume from July. That's been picked up a lot by the mainstream media all over Europe and in the UK. It seems to have been interpreted at the moment as if holidays are going to resume from the 1st of July. But I just want to caution that, because that's not actually what was said, was it?
No, I mean it's pretty. What we've just said is all he said. He said foreign tourism will restart in July. He didn't give a date in July, so he didn't say the 1st of July, and he didn't say what he meant by international travel. So he didn't specify if that meant all international travel or certain countries. So I think we just need to kind of wait and see until we get the details really of what that actually means.
Yeah, so I'm going to put up on screen now a tweet that was put out by the Spanish Foreign Minister, and her tweet really is the only detail of any kind that we've had on this. So the Spanish Prime Minister said from July. That doesn't necessarily mean the 1st, it might do, but that's not been confirmed yet. But what she said is that there will be a gradual return to tourism. The other positive news that kind of links with this is that Spain are ending the 14-day quarantine period from the 1st of July. So
and that's definitely the 1st of July.
Yeah, that is definitely the 1st of July. So that's some good news. If you are due to come out here on holiday sometime soon, you won't be expected to quarantine, which is what we did say in last week's video. It was never intended for tourists. It was only supposed to be for Spanish nationals or residents returning to Spain. So yeah, good news potentially, but we are lacking the detail. As soon as we know if there's any conditions attached to this, if it's certain countries first, we'll let you know in the vlog. Right, so we're heading to the Atlantico now. So there are a few of the bars open here with their terraces. So at least somewhere at this end of the beach if you want to have a drink or something to eat. Wear masks on for this. which is mandatory. We've got no choice. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's see how we get on. There's markings on the floor here, so they've got a bit of a one-way system going on. So we'll stick to the right. Part of the guidelines for reopening shopping centres is that any rest areas can't be used, so there's no seating areas or anything. It's quiet in here. A few shops open, sports shop. So yeah, the markings on the floor are a one-way system. Shops can only have a maximum of 40% of their capacity. So for these smaller shops, that's not a big problem.
I mean, the spa here has been open the whole lockdown, obviously because it's a supermarket, but all of the other shops have been closed up until this week. You're naughty.
We got what we could, but the security guard told me off, so we couldn't get every single shop. I think we got a good idea of what it's like in there. The one thing I would say is that the mandatory mask wearing, it does mean that it's not at all a pleasurable experience to go out shopping, which I guess is kind of what they're wanting.
Yeah, I mean, especially here because it's hot, obviously, and the only place that it's not we've found is Lidl. They seem to have good air conditioning, but everywhere else is. So, I mean, they don't want people hanging around for long periods, do they? I don't think the masks are deliberately uncomfortable. They serve a purpose, don't they? But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's very much a case of you know, even with the aircon in there, it's very hot with a mask on. So it's very much going to be a case of if you want to buy something from a shopping centre, you're going in, you're buying it, and you go in again. Like Sarah said, you're not going there to sort of spend half a day walking around the shops. That's just not going to happen. So,
well, the other thing is, last week I did say that I hadn't seen the masks widely available, but they have got them in the supermarket now, so they sell them in packs of 10.
The other thing to mention, because we're here at the Atlantico, is that cinemas have been told that they can reopen with a maximum of 30% capacity. But as yet, the Elmo cinema here hasn't put anything on their website about when they intend to reopen. So we just have to wait and see on that one.
And when they do reopen, you've got to book your seats in advance, is my understanding as well.
Yeah, and there'll be social distancing as well, so with the capacity they can spread people out. So this is Broncemar Beach, which is a popular hotel in Caleta de Fuste, and I wanted to include it on the video because they're undergoing a huge series of renovation works at the moment, and quite a few people have asked about this. Now I don't know how much you'll be able to see on the video, but we'll just do a walk round, and if there's anything of note that I can include, I will do. So this is the first hotel actually that we stayed in, wasn't it?
Yeah, first time we came to Fuerteventura and to Caleta. What was it, about 7 years ago? Something like that?
Maybe 8 years ago, yeah, I'm not too sure. The first time we came together anyway, this was the hotel we stayed in. The staff here were very friendly at the time. They've put all things in the window here, which is quite sweet. So yeah, just little messages of thanks to all the guests as well, people that are probably missing their holidays. All I can really tell from a quick walk around is that all of the outside areas have been painted. There's some construction work going on in terms of extra walls on the rear ones, and they all look like they've had new ironwork, new tiling, that sort of thing, so it does look quite good. So this is the Montecastillo Centre, which is up on the hill, which most people I think refer to as Chipmunk Hill or Chipmunk Mountain. I think the Sizzling Pig, which is around the other side, has been open since phase 1 with their terrace. And as far as I'm aware, I think Bollywood Spices have been open as well, which is the Indian restaurant. But this little one on the corner, we've been to this one a couple of times, called The View. Very friendly staff in there. They look closed at the moment. So just to say thanks again for all the lovely comments on the videos. Thanks to everybody that's subscribing as well. We had a lot of requests when I asked last week where you wanted to see on these videos. Quite a few people said Puerto del Rosario, Sarah's got to go and see the specialist at the hospital there later
Friday.
in the week on Friday, so we'll do a bit of filming while we're there. That will be next week's video. Thanks for watching, we'll see you then.